Hello YouTube, GreatRJ1 here, and today I'm going to be telling you how to be better at Anakin. So last video I told you how to be better at Mace Windu, and I'm sure that might have helped some of you guys, but he's more of a character that you need to know what abilities to use. Now he can be used defensively. If you want to use defensive attacks with Mace Windu / abilities, then I recommend getting defensive abilities. If you want offensive, aka attacking abilities, then I recommend the abilities I recommended you. Now anyways, Anakin's a very helpful character to have in your team, like Mace Windu, depending on how you play as him. So there's one skin that you should never ever wear as Anakin, and that's his burnt skin. Pretty much when he was burned by Obi-Wan Kenobi in Revenge of the Sith. That would have not been a problem a long time ago, but it is now. Originally the lightsaber stayed blue, but now the lightsaber is red, which is a huge problem. Because now the lightsaber's red, and it will give away that you're on the Sith team. Now do keep in mind that now we'll be going over the abilities that I recommend you to use for Anakin and the abilities I have used. The abilities I recommend you to use are Retribution, and his other ability I recommend you to use are his Flip. Now, he is a very simple character to get the hang of. So do keep that in mind. I'll be going over how to unlock Retribution, so yeah. If you're also wondering how I got this skin for Anakin, I reached to level 40, so... Oh, Obi-Wan. No, oh no. He's going to attack me, isn't he? Oh no, he's just going to crush me. Now, here are some strategies for you to use as Anakin. Try and do a choke kill. A choke kill is pretty much when you choke somebody and then your team come and then attack those people or person that you're choking. This is a very useful way to either get that character low on health or just to get them pretty much either low on health or to kill them. This is a very useful tactic to use, or technique, whatever you say as, and I highly recommend using it. Now, Anakin's moves are these. Very simple moves. None of them seem related to Grievous like most of the characters I've gone over in this series, or some of them at least. However, if there's a Vader or a Darth Maul or any character that's on the light side that's going to be able to choke you, on that enemy I mean, then you're going to be in for a good treat, especially if it's if not all the characters on your team have choke. You can pretty much choke the same character right after one of them has choked, and this will be very effective, because pretty much now the character will be in a loop of choking until it's finished. Now, Retribution has a lengthy animation, and you can take damage while in the animation. So even though it's recommended as it has a larger range of choke, it's a very dangerous ability to use, and you need to make sure that none of the enemies are blocking when you use it. And it's also a good way to actually get characters and halt them if you're trying to catch up to them but you can't. It's a very helpful way to actually get to them, or just stop them, or get them if they're on low health. Do keep in mind that it will not always be available like every single ability, and you could end up dying because you were wondering why it's not actually working. And I thought Kylo Ren was an enemy. Anyway, he's very useful to have on your team depending how you use him. And do keep in mind that use him correctly and you'll be into having a win on your team likely. So yeah. Do keep in mind that a Cal Kestis, and if you're not blocking, can get rid of him. And make sure you do not go into retribution as he's jumping about or attacking. So yeah. Anyways, he's a very helpful character to have on your team, and we'll be going over his status in 20 seconds. And I said 20 seconds because of it there. Because it said 20 seconds when I said it. Anyway, yes, he's a very helpful character to have on your team. Just keep in mind, if you do the tips that I tell you to, you'll be pretty much next to very powerful. So yeah. The reason why you want to use retribution is because it has a large area of effect and has, I think, a larger area than most of the abilities. So now we're gonna, to unlock retribution, you need to take 10,000 damage as Vader, and no, it's not on an enemy, it's on that Vader himself. Now we'll be going into his status. His speed, he has less stamina than most characters, only having 130, so he's morely made for attacks. His jump is 70, his damage is 25 to 30, which is pretty standard. Health is 175, and speed is 23. So helpful to have on your team if used correctly. Now, you don't even have to be good at him to be good with him. As long as you have retribution, you'll be very powerful with him, and if you have a good team, you don't have to worry about being bad with Anakin, because you'll pretty much be good with him. Now, yes, I recommend always replacing choke with retribution when you unlock it. I know retribution is not a skin, it's an ability. Yes, it confused me as well. The reason why it confused me was because usually the achievements are for skins, aka appearances, and I thought it was actually an appearance that had got either removed from the game, or it was something that you can't actually see in the shop. I actually thought that until I realised, oh, it was an ability. Because it normally gives you just the abilities. I mean, skins / appearances. So it did shock me when I found that out. Anyway, use my tips and you shall hopefully be better at this game. Just try not to take too much damage as him in retribution, because if there's one enemy and you do it and they do not use, because if there's one enemy and they're blocking at least one, you can take and you choke another one, or if you fail to choke that one person, be sure to lose a lot of damage. I don't know how long the animation goes on for. It's probably around 3 seconds. That's what I'm guessing. Somebody counts, and if you know, and if you do count it, tell me in the comments below. So, however, it is very useful for getting rid of some enemies and multiple ones. So, do keep that in mind. And currently I have not got anybody because Palpatine's getting all of them. You know what? Now Palpatine is a fun character to use, just saying, but I recommend trying to not use his lightsaber unless it's needed. Now yes, that does mean you do not get XP as fast as you normally would do. but it does get the job done. So yeah. Now Anakin's very useful, like I've said before, and I highly recommend using him with the right abilities. So yeah. Anakin's one that focuses more on his lightsaber and abilities, other than Palpatine because Palpatine does not really focus on his ability, on his attack, on his lightsaber, unless it's absolutely necessary, and I mean necessary. Let's just hope Qui-Gon is. Oh, never mind. I was going to say. No, never mind. Anyway, yes, very helpful to have. And if you're able to do a successful block after a ability's failed on you, retribution is a great way to give them, to actually get to halt them from doing anything else. And especially if you know when and what abilities and when they are going to use them, that will play a big part in using Anakin with retribution. So do keep in mind that do not do anything like I just did, and my head's got stuck in the ceiling. Well, roof, but still. But you did see my head get stuck up there, but still. Now I took heavy amounts of damage. I was left on 2 health, which is surprisingly, and I'm surprisingly still alive. Now, if you're able to know your enemy team and get used to playing with them, you'll be very powerful, and you will end up being, and you will know how to pretty much defend yourself, how to use them, and pretty much what strategies you should use, and knowing when to use them, because that plays a major part in it. And yeah, now do keep in mind that that retribution can be cancelled, but only by your enemy. It can be cancelled by the following kick from Cal, along with a force ability where it's like a push or a pull or whatever. I think it's push, and so on. Do keep that in mind, and do keep in mind that it can actually help your enemy get free, but it can also be cancelled out by getting killed. And I really recommend trying to get as many enemies as you can with retribution, and try and search around the area before you use it, because if an enemy comes up just after you began to choke somebody, be sure to get killed. But it can be useful for killing an enemy if they're at no health, and it can be useful for getting rid of some of their health. It takes around the same amount of time as choke, but it has a larger range, and it's all around you, so yes, very useful. No, you don't, Obi. Got your Obi. So yeah, very useful, and if you know how to use him, you will likely have a good win. So we'll see you guys next time, and bye bye.